Okay. Good morning, students. Today I will teach you paper 3.2 income tax laws for your third semester. Income tax law must be a new subject to you. You have not studied this paper at any level, either in the first year or in school level. This paper is very interesting. You will be finding so many interesting points in this and practical aspects also, because this law is useful to everybody in our life. Here, before I start, let me tell you my name. I am Dr. N.K. Agarwal. This paper is of 3-hour duration and 100 marks. The objective of this paper is to provide basic knowledge and equip the students with application of principles and provisions of Income Tax Act 1961. This Income Tax Act 1961 was introduced in 1961. Prior to that, there was some other act. But the law changes every year. An eminent author, Palkiwala, once told, income tax law is just like a railway ticket, which starts from the originating station and ends on destination. It means every year the government of India passes the Finance Act in the Parliament, and the rate of income tax are decided in the Finance Act. Now we have to study the provisions of Income Tax Act 1961 for the assessment year 2020 and 2021. That you can say 2021. All incomes which have been earned in the previous year 1920 will be taxed in the assessment year 2021. So the provisions change every year. We have to study the provisions of the assessment year 2020-2021 or 2021. Before I explain the syllabus, I will tell you the reference books I have given in the notes. We have 3 reference books in this. One, Student's Guide to Income Tax by Dr. V.K. Singhania and Dr. Monica Singhania. The second book, Simplified Approach to Income Tax by Dr. Girish Ahuja and Dr. Ravi Gupta. The third book, Concept Building Approach to Income Tax Law and Practice by Dr. Naveen Mittal. You can read from any book. All books contain the income tax provisions. The difference may be in the language and the illustrations. Now, let me briefly explain the syllabus to you. There are 5 units. You will be getting in the examination 5 questions. And there will be 2 questions from each unit and you have to answer 1. These 5 questions will be in normal circumstances. In the last semester, you had open book examination and assignment examination, and there were 4 questions only. Now, what is Unit 1? The basic concepts. The basic concepts that is income, agricultural income, person, SSE, assessment year, previous year, gross total income, maximum marginal rate of tax, permanent account number, that is PAN. Second part is residential status, scope of total income on the basis of residential status, exempted income under section 10. So first, in 3 lectures, we will cover the basic concepts. Today, I will explain all the definitions. Second unit is computation of income under different heads. We have 5 heads of income. Income from salary, income from house property, computation of income under profits and gains of business and profession. 4th, capital gain. 5th, income from other sources. Out of these 5 heads, unit 2 contains first 2 heads, that is salaries and income from house property. The 3rd unit contains the next 3, profits and gains of business or profession, capital gains, income from other sources. The 4th unit is total income and tax computation. How to find out the total income and how to compute the tax. In this case, we have to study income of other persons included in SSE's total income, aggregation of income, and set off and carry forward of losses, deductions from gross total income, rebates and relief. The last 5th unit, computation of total income of an individual and firms, tax liability of individual and firms, and preparation of return of income. So this is the syllabus in a nutshell. Now I will come to the main chapter. Now I am starting with the learning objectives. What we are going to learn in this paper. And that is the first topic, basic concepts of income tax law. In this basic concepts, we will understand the following things. What is income, person, SSE, assessment year, previous year, gross total income, maximum marginal rate of tax, permanent account number, that is PAN, agricultural income, residential status and tax liability, computation of total income and tax liability. I will explain all these points one by one. Basically, what is income tax? You must be wondering. Income tax. We have to understand these 2 things. So for this, you please go through this sentence. Income tax is the tax on the income of a person called an SSE, which in bracket income is earned in the previous year and taxed in the assessment year at the rates applicable by the Finance Act of that year. If you read this sentence very carefully, you will find out I have underlined certain words. Income tax, income, person, SSE, earned, previous year, assessment year, rates, Finance Act. So if I explain all these things to you, you will be able to know what is income tax. It is the tax on the income of a person. The person is called an SSE. The income is earned in the previous year and the income is taxed in the assessment year at the rates applicable by the Finance Act of that year. It means every year the Government of India gives the Finance Act. The finance bill is tabled in the Parliament, and when the bill is passed, it becomes Act. So every year the rate of tax is decided, and whatever rates are decided in the Finance Act, they will be applicable for that year. Now let us understand one by one tax. What is tax? All of you must be knowing tax. All of us pay tax in one form or other form. Whether you are buying a commodity, you are subscribing to your telephone, even the mobile phone recharge, you are purchasing some bank draft, we pay tax in the form of GST. Earlier, there were several types of tax: sales tax, custom duty, manufacturing tax, all these things. But now we have only goods and services tax. Generally, tax is of two types: direct tax, indirect tax. Direct tax means the person who pays the tax, he bears the burden. Indirect tax means the person who pays the tax, he does not bear the burden. The burden is borne by somebody else. Income tax is a direct tax. If I am earning income, I will pay the tax and I will bear the burden. But in case of GST, it is the seller who has to pay the GST. But the seller does not pay from his own pocket. He collects the amount of GST from the ultimate buyer. So tax is two types: direct and indirect. Income tax is a direct tax. The person who is earning the income, he will be paying the tax. So now what is income? Because income tax is the tax on the income of a person. Income is defined in section 2, clause 24. Or you can say section 2, subsection 24. In this section, it is saying income includes this. It is inclusive, not exhaustive. It means if any item is not found in this, then it may also be income. Now, what is income? It is a periodical monetary return with some sort of regularity. Some sort of regularity. It may be regular, it may be irregular, but it is a monetary return. It may be recurring, it may be non-recurring. Recurring means which comes to you again and again, like salary. Every month you get salary. That is recurring. Non-recurring, once in a while. For example, you purchase a lottery ticket, you get the prize. That is once in a while. So that is non-recurring. You have purchased a house, you sell it, get some income. That is non-recurring. What is income? It is true increase in wealth of a person over a period of time. Now suppose I had 20 lakhs wealth at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, my wealth is 25 lakhs. It means my wealth has increased by 5 lakhs during the year. So I have earned an income of 5 lakhs. Now, what are the broad principles which clarify the concept of income? One, it may be regular and definite source. We say income may be regular, it may be irregular, but it must be from a definite source. What do you mean by definite source. You can identify that I have earned the income from this. If a person is working, he is getting salary. Salary is a source. If you have a house, the person is getting rent. So rent is a source. If you have business, business is a source. If you are a professional, profession is a source. It means income must be from a definite source. If you cannot identify the source, it will not be your income. I will explain it with an example. Suppose you are walking on the road. You found 10 500 rupees note. That is 5,000. So road is not a source. So that will not be your income. Income has different forms. It may be in cash, it may be in kind. For example, we get salary, rent, interest, all these are income received in cash. But sometimes we don't receive the income in cash, we receive in kind. For example, a person is working in a company. He is getting some benefits from the company in the form of kind, like a motor car for his personal use, dress, free lunch in the office. The school fees of the children are met by the employer. He goes to the hotel, he enjoys meal, the company pays that. So these are all income received in kind. So whether it is received in cash or in kind, everything will be treated as income of the person. The only thing, whatever we receive in the form of goods and services, that must be capable of being converted into money, or we must find its money value. Next is receipt versus accrual, or we can say cash versus accrual. Sometimes what happens, if we are earning some income, we receive it during that month. Sometimes the income becomes due and you receive in the next accounting period or after few days. That is accrual of income. Whether it is received or it is accrued, it is earned. Anything which you earn, whether you receive now or you have not received, that will be your income. Legality is not a criterion for deciding the income. Income may be legal, it may be illegal. What do you mean by legal or illegal? The source of the income is legal. The source of the income is illegal. What is illegal? Any activity which is prohibited by law of the land is illegal. What is legal? Any activity which is permitted by the law of land is legal. For example, in India, I am working in Delhi University. I am getting salary. That is my legal income. But a person is doing some illegal act like theft, stealing money. You murder a person and get 5 lakh rupees as ransom, or you are doing some trade in commodities which are prohibited by law. For example, drugs. Trading in drug is illegal. Nowadays, Deepavali is going on. Sale and bursting of cracker is prohibited in Delhi. So if any person is selling crackers and getting some income, that will be illegal. Income may be legal, income may be illegal, but income means income and it will be taxable. You cannot take the plea that my income is illegal, so this is not an income and I will not pay tax on this. This plea cannot be taken. Disputed title. There may be some property on which the title is disputed, or on the income the title is disputed. A says I am the owner, B says I am the owner. But the person who is in possession of that has to pay the tax on that. The dispute will be resolved by the court. Reimbursement of expenses, not income. What is reimbursement of expenses? For example, I have done some work for my employer, and my employer pays back that expenses to me. So that is not income for me. To make it more clear, I have spent 500 rupees on conveyance charges for School of Open Learning from going from North Campus to South Campus. Actually, that expenses were to be met by the employer. But as a teacher, I have paid the expenses and my employer reimburses that to me. So that is not an income. Next is temporary versus permanent. It may be temporary, it may be permanent. But income is income. Sometimes you say, I receive it regularly, it may be permanent. Or you get some work for some period of time, maybe 1 day, 2 days, everything is income. Lump sum receipt, that is also income. You don't get it in parts, you get in one go. Whether you get it in installments or you get it in lump sum, it is your income. The total will be your income. Tax-free income. There is nothing like tax-free income. Then what does it mean? It means my employer gives me a salary and employer says it is tax-free. In that case, whatever tax is payable on my income will be paid by my employer. Government of India can only make any income tax pay. Nobody else can make income tax pay. Now let me illustrate this. Suppose my salary is 5 lakhs. Then there will be no tax. Employer will pay no tax. Suppose my salary is 10 lakhs. And I'm liable to pay 12,500 plus 4% tax on this. Let us say it comes to 13,000. My employer deposits that 13,000 with the government. So in that case, I'm sorry, the tax should be 1,13,000, not 13,000. So my income would be 10 lakhs, which is paid to me, plus the tax paid by my employer to the government of India. Next, receipt on account of Dharmada, Pathsala, Gosala, etc. are not income. Let us say any company, any shop has to put a box outside his shop. And he says this box is for Gosala. Donation for Gosala. You drop 10 rupees. Somebody goes, drops 100 rupees. Somebody goes, drops 20 rupees. So the total receipt during the year is 50,000. That receipt is not income for the shopkeeper because that is received for Gosala. Similarly, if you are receiving anything for Dharmada or for Pathsala, it will not be income. Income includes loss. If it is positive, it is income. If it is negative, it is loss. For example, in case of salary, there cannot be any loss. Always profit. But if you are doing some business, it may be trading, it may be manufacturing, it may be anything. There may be loss also. So income includes both profit and loss. Income should be real and not fictional or fictitious. We cannot say this should be the income or something like that. There should be really income. It cannot be fictional. No income to be taxed twice. If any income has been taxed once on receipt basis, it cannot be taxed twice on accrual basis. One income will be taxed only once. PIN money is not an income. What is PIN money? Generally, the housewives means the ladies who are working at home. They are not employed. They do only household work. They get some money from their husband for household expenses or for their personal expenses. Out of that money, they may be saving some amount, and that saving is accumulated over a period of time. Whatever amount it may be, it is not an income. So PIN money is not an income. Award received by a sports person is chargeable to tax. Whatever awards have been received by the sports person, it will be taxable. The award may be received in kind, may be received in cash. If it is received in kind, we have to find out the value, the monetary value of the award, the burden of proof. Let me explain it little clearly. Suppose an assessee, a person has certain income. The income tax department is saying the income is taxable or this is income. So the burden of proof lies on the department. Department means income tax department. They have to prove that this is income which has been earned by this person and it will be taxable. It's not on the assessor. But suppose the person has certain income. The department says it is taxable, but the assessee says it is tax-free. Assessee means the person who is earning the income. Then the burden of proof will be on the assessee. The assessee has to prove that no, this is not my income or this is my income, but this is not taxable. After explaining these few points, I am going to explain what is section 224. Section 224 is inclusive. What is included in income? Just I will read out this. If something is required to be explained, I will explain that. Number one, profits and gains. Profits and gains we have from business and profession. All the profits, all the gains from business or profession or vocation, whatever it may be, that will be included in it. Dividend. Dividend is included in income. What is dividend? If you are holding certain shares in a company, the company will be declaring dividend, which will be paid to the shareholders yearly or after the annual profits. That will be dividend. Voluntary contributions received by a trust. Any trust which is receiving voluntary contribution will be treated as income. Perquisites. Perquisites given to the employees is included in income. Perquisites given to the director is also an income. What is perquisites? Perquisites simply means the value of the benefit which is provided to the employee in addition to salary. These are all additional benefits. For example, a house given to the employee for which the employee doesn't pay any. A motor car provided to the employee for his personal use. The school fees of the children are paid by the employer. Club fees are paid by the employer. Servants are working in the employee's house. The salary is paid by the employer. The employee is provided free lunch, free tiffin, free tea, medical benefits provided to the employee by the employer. There may be so many more things. All these are perquisites. So all perquisites which are given to the director or to the employee will be included in income. Allowances. Allowances is the amount which is paid in cash to meet out certain expenses. It may be house rent allowance, it may be education allowance, it may be medical allowance, it may be transport allowance, it may be traveling allowance, or there are so many other allowances. I need not name all. Then it includes city compensatory allowance and also dearness allowance, that is DA. DA and city compensatory allowances are paid by the employer to employee to meet out extra expenditure because of dearness, और जिसको महंगाई कहते हैं, or if you are working in a big city, you get city compensatory. Capital gains. The profit or gain on sale of capital asset will be capital gains. Capital gains may be long-term capital gain or maybe short-term capital gain. All capital gains will be included in the income. Insurance profit. If the SSE is earning some profit from insurance, that will be also included. Banking income of a cooperative society. Any cooperative society which is earning the income from banking activity will also be included in income. Winning from lottery is also income. Some persons say lottery income should not be income. No, it is included in it. It may be lottery, it may be crossword puzzle, it may be card game, it may be KBC. KBC, all of you must be knowing. Kaun banega crorepati? Or it may be any other gambling nature. All are income, and I include them in the category of lottery. Employees' contribution towards provident fund. If any employee is contributing certain amount towards provident fund, that will be income in the hands of the employer. Amount received under key man insurance policy, including bonus. Under key man insurance policy, if you are getting any income or any bonus, that is also income. Amount exceeding 50,000 rupees by way of gift from non-relative. If you are getting any gift from a relative, that gift is exempt from tax. That is not income, so exempt. But from any other person who is not your relative, if you are getting gift of less than 50,000, it will be exempted, not income. But if it is 50,000 or more, it will be income. Assistance in the form of subsidy or cash incentive from central, state government or any other authority or any other agency. Advance money received and forfeited. Now suppose I receive advance money. What is advance money? I enter into an agreement to execute a contract and I receive some advance money. At the time of actual sale, I will get the balance of the money. So if I receive some advance money and it is forfeited, the agreement is cancelled, and I forfeit the money, that will be my income. Next and last, compensation and termination of employment or modification of terms of employment. If an employee has been terminated or terms of employment has been modified and he is getting some compensation from the employer, that will be treated as income in the hands of the employee. Next is person. Person is defined under section 2, subsection 31 of that. The term person includes an individual, a Hindu undivided family, a company, a firm, an association of persons or body of individuals, whether incorporated or not, a local authority, every artificial juridical person not following within any of the above 6 categories. Now let me explain what are these. These are person as per the Income Tax Act. An individual, Mr. X, Mr. Y, A, B, C, Ram, Rahim. These are individuals. So any individual is a person. After individual, we have Hindu undivided family. Hindu undivided family, HUF, is also a person. It consists of head of the family, maybe his wife, maybe his sons. Mostly, it is a family unit, a company. What is a company? A company which is registered under Indian Companies Act or any other Companies Act. It may be an Indian company, it may be a foreign company. Example, Reliance Industries Limited is a company. HUL is a company. Bata is a company. Tata Steel Limited is a company. You know, there are so many companies. If you go through the newspapers, you will find out lots of companies in India. Asian Paints, which is supplying paints to individuals, households, that's a company. A firm. Firm means partnership firm. When there are more than 2 persons, X, Y, and company, it is a firm of advocates. A, B, and company, firm of, you can say, doctors. It can be of anyone. Partnership firm. An association of persons or body of individuals. An association of persons is not a firm. It is a body of individuals or group of persons. For example, you have a society in your college. You have an association in your college. You have a society in your residential area. We call it Welfare, Residents Welfare Association, RWA. So these are all association of persons. They are not firms. A local authority, Municipal Corporation of Delhi. It may be South Delhi Municipal Corporation, North Delhi Municipal Corporation. DDA, Delhi Development Authority. So these are local authority. The last category is every artificial juridical person not falling within any of the above 6 acts. It means this is an artificial person created by law. Statutory person. University of Delhi is the best example. University of Delhi is created by the Act of Parliament in which you are studying. So University of Delhi is also a person. Don't say that is the location. If you go to the university campus, that is the place where the university is situated. But University of Delhi is a person. Now let us see illustrations of association of persons. ABC Group Housing Society. Problem, determine the status of the following. Delhi University. What is the status of Delhi University? It is artificial juridical person. DCM Limited. it is a company. Delhi Municipal Corporation, local authority. Taxman Publications Private Limited, Bandhan Bank Limited. These two are companies. XYZ Residential Welfare Society, Association of Persons. AB and Company, firm of A and B, partnership. A joint family of X, Mrs. X, and their sons A and B. HUF, Hindu Undivided Family. X and Y, who are legal heirs of Z. Z died in 2008, and X and Y carry on in business without entering into partnership and association of persons. So, what is a person? It should be clear to you. A person includes individual, partnership, individual, HUF, a company, a firm, an association of persons, a local authority, and every artificial juridical person. Sometimes you get a question on this, that define a person. Next, SSE. SSE is very important for you to understand. SSE, person, assessment year, previous year. These are very important things. SSE. Section 2, subsection 7. SSE means a person by whom income tax or any other sum of money is payable under the Act. It means any person who has to pay income tax or any other sum of money, maybe interest, maybe penalty, or maybe all, income tax plus interest plus penalty. That person will be known as an SSE. It includes, number one, every person in respect of whom any proceeding under the Income Tax Act has been taken for the assessment of his income or the income of any other person in respect of which he is assessable. It means SSE is a person in respect of whom any proceeding under the income tax has been taken. It means he has to pay tax on his own income or on the income of some other person. B, the loss sustained by him or by other person in respect of which he is assessable. It means the person will be an assessee if he has returned his income. A person will be an assessee if he has returned his loss. It means for both income and loss, it will be an assessee. C, the amount of refund due to him or to other person in respect of whom he is assessable. It means he has to pay the income tax, or he has shown some loss, or he is entitled for some refund. For example, there has been TDS and he has no tax liability. It means he will be getting refund. So in that case also he will be an assessee. Number two, every person who is deemed to be an assessee. Because assessee, I explained three things. Assessee means assessee proper. Second, deemed to be an assessee. Third, assessee in default. Let me explain what is the second point. Every person who is deemed to be an assessee under any provisions of the Act. It means a person is not an assessee for his own income, but a person is an assessee for income of some other person, deemed to be an assessee. That is the legal representatives of a deceased person. Because the person has died, he has some income. He had to pay the tax on that income. He did not pay the tax. So the representative who looks after his income will be liable to pay tax. So that person will be deemed to be an assessee. Similarly, if any non-resident is having business connection in India, and through that business connection he earns some income. So the agent of that non-resident in India will be deemed to be an assessor. 3. Every person who is deemed to be an assessee in default under any provisions of this. He is not an assessee. He is not deemed to be an assessee. He is deemed to be assessee in default. So what is default? Any person who commits any mistake under this act will be assessee in default. Let me explain this. My employer is liable to deduct income tax at source while giving me my salary. Before crediting the amount of my salary to my account, it is his duty, number 1, to deduct income tax at source. Number 2, after deduction, he has to deposit the amount of tax in the government treasury within specified time period. That is within 2 weeks. He has to deposit the tax in the government treasury. So, if my employer does not deduct the income tax, or after deduction does not deposit the tax in government treasury, so my employer will be deemed to be assessee in default. Next is assessment year. What is assessment year? It is a period of 12 months starting on 1st April and ending on 31st March next year. Assessment year has been explained under section 2, subsection 9. So it is always a period of 12 months starting on 1st April, ending on 31st March next year. Current assessment year is 2021. It started on 1st April 20 and it will end on 31st March 21. It is also called tax year. Income is earned in the previous year and will be taxed next year, that is during next following assessment year at the rates prescribed by our 11th Finance Act. So whatever income you are earning in 1920, you will pay tax in 2021. Whatever income you are earning in 2021, you will be paying the tax in 21-22. What is the previous year? Previous year is section 3. Previous year means the financial year immediately preceding the assessment year. So it is always a financial year. Assessment year is also a financial year. Previous year is the income year. The year in which you earn the income is the previous year. And the next year in which you are liable to pay tax will be known as assessment year. Now you can look here, 2019-2020 is the income year. 2021 is the tax year. 1920 is the previous year. 2021 is the assessment year. Previous year is the preceding year and assessment year is the succeeding year. Now, uniform previous year. I will take only 5 minutes extra. Okay. All assessees is required to follow financial year. That is 1st April to 31st March as previous year. The uniform previous year has to be followed for all sources of income. But one may maintain books of accounts on the basis of any year of his own choice, maybe calendar year, maybe Deepavali year, maybe Dasera year, like that. Previous year in case of newly set up business or new source of income. The first previous year may be a period of less than 12 months. It will be a period commencing from the date of setting of the business or starting of the business and ending on immediately following 31st March. The first previous year cannot exceed 12 months. Second and subsequent previous year are always 12 months each. That is from 1st April to 31st March next. Example, you start the business on 28th October 29 and it will end on 31st March 2020. I think I have to close this here. The next, when the income of the previous year is not taxable, and the rest of the things I will explain in the subsequent class. My next class will be day after tomorrow, that is on 11th of November at the same time. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can upload the questions on the question chat box and we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.
Okay, sir, finishing the class. Hello, sir. हेलो सर।
हाँ, आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ जी, आवाज आ रही है। अब आप क्लास खत्म कर रहे हैं ना सर?
हाँ, खत्म ही कर देते हैं तो ठीक रहेगा, क्योंकि अब कर नहीं पाऊंगा बाकी जो बचा हुआ है।
नहीं, इसमें थोड़े से क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, वहां पर आप देख लीजिए।
हाँ, क्वेश्चंस में देख सकता हूँ अभी, अगर टाइम है तो आप परमिट करते हैं तो देख
हाँ
लूंगा।
हाँ, देख लीजिए सर, 5-7 ही क्वेश्चन मैंने देखे थे, आप देख लीजिए।
अच्छा, कैसे देखना है बताओ?
वो ऊपर क्वेश्चन का बना हुआ है ना एक मार्क,
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
उसमें देख लीजिए।
हाँ, मुझे कोई जल्दी नहीं है, क्वेश्चन करके इसका
हाँ जी।
जवाब कैसे देना है। अच्छा, मेरी फोटो तो नहीं दिखाई दे रही थी, मुझे आ रही थी उधर।
फोटो आ रही है, आपकी फोटो आ रही है सर।
अच्छा,
आप
वो भी
लाइव,
आ रही थी, मैटर भी पूरा आ रहा था।
हाँ जी, क्वेश्चन भी पूरा आ रहा है। आप उसको ओपन कर दीजिए, जहाँ
कैसे
पर
ओपन?
11, जहाँ पे 11 लिखी है ना, वहां पर
हाँ,
क्लिक करके वो खुल जाएंगे।
अच्छा,
हाँ जी, खुल
ठीक
गई
है।
कुछ। आप 1 बाय 1 लेते जाइए।
देखिए, पहला क्वेश्चन है, इज क्लास नॉट अवेलेबल इन हिंदी? देखिए कमलजीत, मैं हिंदी में भी बोल दिया करूंगा, अगर आप हिंदी में ज्यादा इंटरेस्टेड है। देखिए, मेरा एक ही ऑब्जेक्ट है, आपको सब्जेक्ट समझाना। मैटर तो इंग्लिश में दे दिया, लेकिन मैं उसको हिंदी में भी बोलता रहूंगा बीच बीच में। अगली क्लास से मैं इसका ध्यान रखूंगा। सेकेंड क्वेश्चन, कैन आई परचेज बुक इन हिंदी? यस, यू कैन परचेज द बुक इन हिंदी इफ इट इज अवेलेबल। देखिए, कुछ किताबें हिंदी में भी अवेलेबल हैं। जो मैंने किताबें आपको बताई थी, डॉक्टर सिंघानिया की, डॉक्टर नवीन मित्तल की, वो तो हिंदी में नहीं है। मेरा ख्याल है गिरीश आहूजा, रवि गुप्ता की किताब हिंदी में अवेलेबल है। और एक और किताब है जो हिंदी में अवेलेबल है, वो है डॉक्टर महेश चंद्रा एंड अंजू जैन। वो भी किताब हिंदी में अवेलेबल होगा। ठीक है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, किसी ने लिखा है डाउनवर्ड स्क्रीन से भी। हाँ, मूर्य ने भी, मैंने जवाब दे दिया। आप हिंदी में भी किताब खरीद सकते हैं और हिंदी में किताब अवेलेबल है। इनकम टैक्स नोट्स, ये जो मैं लेक्चर दे रहा हूँ, ये आपके वेबसाइट में लोड हो जाएंगे। और इनकम टैक्स नोट्स के बारे में मैं ऑफिस से बात करके बताऊंगा आपको, कि अगर वो एडिट हो गए तो आपको इसमें अपलोड कर दिए जाएंगे। ठीक है। वॉइस आना चाहिए, मेरे इस तरफ से तो ठीक आ रहा है। सेक्शंस मेंशन करना इंपॉर्टेंट है या नहीं है, इसका जवाब आप खुद देंगे। आपको अगर सेक्शन से याद होता है सेक्शन मेंशन करिए, नहीं तो सेक्शन मेंशन करना जरूरी नहीं है। गलत सेक्शन मत बताइए। बाकी ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का तो रिक्वेस्ट है हिंदी में बोलो। अच्छा, एग्जाम ओबी ही है या क्या है, ये मैं नेक्स्ट क्लास में इंक्वायरी करके बताऊंगा, या आप फिर मेल डाल सकते हैं एसओएल को। रिकॉर्ड क्लास कैसे दिखेंगे, ये अभी अपलोड करेंगे, 1-2 दिन का समय दीजिए, उसके बाद ये सारा रिकॉर्ड हो जाएगा। कब रिकॉर्ड क्लास? इसमें आप जब एसओएल की वेबसाइट में जाएंगे, सारे क्लास आपको मिल जाएंगे। ये जो टैक्स ईयर और इनकम ईयर है, मैं अगली क्लास में दोबारा स्टार्ट करके, देखिए जिस साल में आप इनकम अर्न करते हैं वो इनकम ईयर है, अगले साल में टैक्स देते हैं वो टैक्स ईयर है। इनकम ईयर को हम प्रीवियस ईयर कहते हैं, टैक्स ईयर को असेसमेंट ईयर कहते हैं। नोट्स आपको पीडीएफ में मिल जाएंगे। एग्जाम देखिए अभी तक यूनिवर्सिटी ने डिसाइड नहीं किया, लेकिन जो दिल्ली में सिचुएशन है उसको देखकर ये लग नहीं रहा कि फिजिकल एग्जाम होंगे, ऑनलाइन का ही होगा। ये अभी कुछ भी कहना संभव नहीं है। यूनिवर्सिटी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के डायरेक्शन के ऊपर निर्भर करेगी और उन्हीं के डायरेक्शन के हिसाब से ही एग्जाम करेंगे। थैंक यू सो मच। आप लोगों को मेरी सब्जेक्ट अगर नहीं समझ आ रहा है, आप चैट बॉक्स में देखिए, इंटरएक्टिव क्लास हम इसको कर नहीं सकते, लेकिन मैं जितनी भी कोशिश करूंगा अगली बार हिंदी में भी बोलूंगा, जिससे आप लोगों को समझ आ जाए। देखिए मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव एक ही रहेगा, अगर हमारा टॉपिक 100% नहीं हो के 70% भी हो जाता है और मैं इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक सारे कवर कर देता हूँ, आपके एग्जाम के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा। इस चैप्टर से क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, नहीं तो मैं इतना समय नहीं लगाता। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर है, बेसिक कंसेप्ट से एक क्वेश्चन आएगा। हिंदी में मैं बोलूंगा आगे। अच्छा, किताबें मैंने पहले रेकमेंड कर दिया था, आपको नोट्स में मिल जाएंगे, नहीं तो अगली बार बता देंगे। 10 साल का जो इनकम टैक्स लेंगे ले सकते हैं, लेकिन उसकी जो प्रोविजंस है वो करंट ईयर का भी समझना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि असेसमेंट ईयर 2021 एक बार रट लीजिए, असेसमेंट ईयर 2021 उसी के प्रोविजंस आपको करने हैं। एग्जाम टेंटेटिवली 12 दिसंबर से है, अभी फाइनल नहीं है। ऋचा जी, इनकम टैक्स लॉ मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया था, लेकिन अगली क्लास में मैं 5 मिनट लगा सकता हूँ। आप इसको ओडीएफ फाइल में देख लीजिए, आज संभव नहीं है, क्लास का समय समाप्त हो चुका है। देखिए किसी भी ऑथर की किताब खरीद लीजिए, आप पहले एक बार मार्केट जाइए, देखिए डॉक्टर सिंघानिया की किताब अच्छी है, जिसकी भी लैंग्वेज आपको समझ आ जाए। लॉ सबने बराबर लिखा है, लैंग्वेज की बात है। देखिए एग्जाम के बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस हैं, पीडीएफ नोट्स के बारे में बहुत क्वेश्चन है। बेस्ट बुक इन इंग्लिश मीडियम, जो तीनों किताबें बताई तीनों अच्छी हैं, जो आपको पसंद आए। आप मार्केट में जाते हो ना खाना खाने के लिए, समोसा भी मिलता है, बड़ा भी मिलता है, पकौड़ा भी मिलता है, कोई कुछ खाता है कोई कुछ खाता है, जो आपको समझ आए वही अच्छा है। आरुषि, आपका आंसर क्या था? मैं क्वेश्चन स्क्रॉल करूं, मैं देखता हूं। या क्वेश्चन आप रिपीट कर दोगे आरुषि? मुझे बैक जाना पड़ेगा।
सर वो एग्जाम्स
एग्जाम
के
का
बारे में
आंसर मैंने दिया था आरुषि, आपके एग्जाम टेंटेटिवली 12 तारीख से होने हैं, लेकिन ये फाइनल नहीं है। इसमें गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का डायरेक्शन और यूनिवर्सिटी किस सिस्टम से एग्जाम करती है वो सब देखने के बाद ही हो पाएगा। आप 2 हफ्ते वेट करिए, 2 हफ्ते के बाद आ जाएगा। कंप्लीट कोर्स हो पाएगा नहीं हो पाएगा मैं कोई गारंटी नहीं लेता, लेकिन जो आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स हैं कम से कम इतना मैं करा दूंगा कि आप 6-7 क्वेश्चन कर लेंगे। बस आपको 1 घंटा लैपटॉप या कंप्यूटर या मोबाइल के पास बैठना पड़ेगा और नोट्स पढ़ने पड़ेंगे। अगर आप मेरे नोट्स भी कर लेंगे तब भी मैं आपको एश्योरेंस देता हूँ काफी कुछ थ्योरेटिकल ठीक रहेगा, प्रैक्टिस के लिए आपको क्वेश्चंस करना पड़ेगा। डीम्ड टू बी एसएससी इन डिफॉल्ट, ये होता है जब कोई व्यक्ति अपना काम नहीं कर पाता। मैंने एग्जांपल दिया था, मेरा एम्प्लॉयर इनकम टैक्स डिडक्ट करना चाहिए था, नहीं करता। आपका बैंक में एफडी है, एफडी का इंटरेस्ट 10,000 से ज्यादा है, बैंक वालों को टीडीएस काटना चाहिए था, उन्होंने नहीं काटा। या टीडीएस तो काट लिया। टीडीएस का मतलब है टैक्स डिडक्शन एट सोर्स, टैक्स काट कर जमा नहीं कराया तो वो एसएससी इन डिफॉल्ट कहलाएगा। एग्जाम कैसा होगा अभी नहीं कह सकते, एक्स्ट्रा थोड़ा सा आपको प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा, बाकी क्लास थियोरेटिकली जो मैं बता रहा हूँ काफी है।